Are you learning English but find it confusing, difficult, even mysterious? Well, don't worry. On this show, I'll answer your questions about English live. It's Hardboiled English Live. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the show. This is the special edition Hardboiled English Live. I'm Teacher Paul, your host, English instructor, and language detective. Now, tonight's show is special. We're gonna spend 2 hours together. The first hour will be devoted to the usual questions and answer sessions. The format is simple. You type in your questions about English in the comment box, and I'll do my best to answer them right here on the show. In the second hour, I have two special guests joining us, and they're going to talk about their journey of learning English. So hopefully their insights can help you in your process. So as we get started, what I'd like you to do is say hello in the comment box. Say hello and tell us where you're from. It's really great to get to know everyone and what country they're in. We usually have a nice variety of people joining us. So far, I see Jonghyun Kim joining us. I see Tomoko Himeoka joining us. I see Borislav Litvinov joining us. I also see Tirath Biswakarma joining us from Nepal. Thank you very much for joining us. We have Andrea Heel joining us. Teacher Andrea, one of my favorite colleagues, joining us live. So we'll just wait a few minutes to get everyone appearing live on the feed here, guys. We've got a very nice show. We have Teacher Etz joining us from Japan. Welcome to the show, Teacher Etz. We've got some teachers, we've got some students, and we've got some former students and friends from abroad. So as usual, we have a very nice mix of viewers. And again, tonight for the first hour, we'll take care of our usual question and answer session and talk a little bit about language. And then in the second hour, I'll bring on some special guests. I see Med. Med, what country are you from? Say hello in the comment box, guys, and also tell us where you're from. It's really nice to know the countries that are joining us. One of the challenges of the show so far has been getting the right time zone so that we can reach the highest number of viewers around the world in the best time zone. We're broadcasting live from the west coast of Canada, and it's early evening here. That means it's early morning in Southeast Asia and East Asia. And Borislav is in the Ukraine. He's a regular viewer. Borislav, what time is it where you are? Maybe you could just type that in. Jonghyun Kim, long time no see. Great to have you back. Congratulations on finishing your university semester. I know you've been working hard, getting ready for your exams. Hopefully they're all done. Okay, we have Nic Darwi. We have Andrew Shu joining us from Taiwan. Thank you for joining us, Andrew. Merry Christmas to you. We have Duka. We have Nic Darwin's in the house. In Nepal, it's still morning. We have Rega joining us from Mexico. Araceli. We have Med from Morocco, Africa. That's fantastic. What time is it in Africa, in Morocco? We have Michele Leandro joining us. And she says, hello. Michele, I think you're in Brazil, correct? It's 2 a.m. in Morocco. Fantastic. Use this. Great. Well, thank you all for joining us tonight. Yeah, great. We've got a great group tonight. Thank you all for joining us. So again, this is our special Christmas 2-hour episode. We're going to do a couple of things tonight. We are first going to answer some questions about English. In Nepal, it's 6:50 a.m. Thank you very much for waking up so early to join us. It's wonderful to have you So, as some of you may or may not know, it depends on your culture and the country you're in, but we are approaching the Christmas holiday. And in Canada, that's a pretty big deal. Whether or not people observe Christmas as a religious holiday, it's a time when most businesses shut down. So even if you're not religious, you're not going to work, which means you get to spend time with your family at home. And this year is a little bit different because we can't travel so easily. We can't get together with our extended families. So I'm really happy to see you guys joining me here because you're kind of my family. And it's nice to see you all together. We have Francisco Pavon joining us. Francisco, I believe, is from Mexico. We have Maria Jesus joining us from Spain. Wonderful. So we've got a great mix of people here joining us tonight. Thank you very much. Just a little reminder, guys, for those of you who don't know me, let me just tell you a little bit about what I'm doing. So I'm the host of the YouTube channel, Hardboiled English. Let's get that up. Hardboiled English with Teacher Paul. That's my YouTube channel. And on that channel, you can see several videos, including the recordings of these live shows every week. I post the entire 1-hour show on the YouTube channel. But you can also find a long-form series I make with my students called English Weirdness. Now, this show has proven to be quite popular. As I said, we make this together, my students and I, and we explore confusing side of grammar, English grammar. There's also a brand new series in development called English Confidential. So far, there's only 1 episode. And this series is devoted to exploring the English that native speakers use problematically. In other words, errors that native speakers use and you learners might copy and pick up some bad habits. So of course, it's always your choice what language and what style of language you want to use. But I want you to be aware that not all native speaker English is perfect, and you should know what's wrong with it. Our most recent episode of English Weirdness, by the way, is on the channel. It's about verb transitivity. So you can check that one out. And for those of you who need extra help, I am always available for private lessons. So if you need private lessons, contact me at teacherpaulsclassroom.com. Make sure you put the S in there, teacherpaulsclassroom.com. From there, you can send me an email directly and tell me what kind of help you need. Okay. So hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. And I'd like to get to some questions you have. Aya's Notes is with us now. Juan Camilo is with us from Colombia. Thank you for joining us. We have Kenneth joining us from the Philippines. It's a holiday in Nepal. Thank you very much. And let's look at our first question by Med. Can you tell us what's the difference between Christmas and New Year? That's a good question. Can you tell us what's the difference between Christmas and New Year? Well, there's several ways to look at this. First is the obvious. Christmas falls on December 25th. New Year marks the calendar beginning. So New Year's Day is January 1st, and it marks the first day of a New Year's calendar. That's the simple answer. Culturally speaking, Christmas Day is long believed to be the birthday of Jesus Christ, the key prophet of the Christian religion. Now, there's some dispute about the exact day the person historically known as Jesus Christ was born, but around the world, Christians of all faiths, whether they're Roman Catholic, Protestants, Baptists, etc., they celebrate the birth of the baby Jesus Christ as Christmas Day, December 25th. New Year's Day isn't so religious in its content. New Year's Day marks the beginning of a new year calendar-wise. Now, as history evolved, New Year's Day tends to be a lot of things to a lot of people. Now, that's Western culture, which is largely influenced by Christianity. So these are very important days for Westerners. Even if they're not religious, the culture has been influenced by Christianity. In Eastern countries, maybe Christmas is more of a fun day to exchange presents. In some cultures, it's a romantic day where young couples go out on dates. In Asian cultures, for example, New Year's Day is the most important day of the year, most important cultural holiday. So that's the difference between Christmas and New Year. Christmas is the day Jesus Christ ostensibly was born, and it's a big deal for Christians. And as I said earlier, even if you're not religious, you're not going to work, probably. So it's a day off to be at home with your family because there's nothing else to do, really. Some people have to work. People in some restaurants may have to work. Some people in important emergency jobs like doctors, nurses, firefighters, police people, they have to work, of course. We count on them. But most people aren't working on Christmas Day, so it's a day of pause. It's a day to stop what we're doing, stay home, eat some food, maybe watch some traditional TV shows or movies that you like, and be with your friends and family. Great question. What else do we have here? Tomoko has a question. Let's get to Tomoko's question. Could you explain when to use hopes as a plural and when you use hope as a singular, and why it can be countable, since to me it's an idea that cannot be cut or separated? Okay, it's a great question. So we're talking about the difference between hope and hopes. Now, one thing we should start with hope, let's remove the question, is that hope can be a verb and a noun. Here we're talking about the noun and whether it can be countable or uncountable. Now, if we say I have hope, I have hope, let's say that 2021 will be great. Okay? I have hope that 2021 will be great. That's the hope. But you could also say, I have many hopes, many different hopes. For example, on one hand, I hope that 2020 will be great. I also hope that I pass university at the end of the year. I also hope that my dog stays healthy. I also hope that my friends are successful in the year. So I have several hopes, and they're specific, and they're different. So they're countable, okay? If we say something like, wow, that doesn't clean anything. Holy mackerel. Sorry, guys, my board is not cooperating. If we could say something like, humanity needs hope. Humanity needs hope. Hope about what? Nothing specific. This is a general feeling or attitude. A general feeling or attitude or spirit that humanity needs. It's an uncountable meaning because it's not a specific hope. It's not a goal. It's in general, it's the feeling. So let's define these two. One, the countable meaning is when you have specific hopes, specific goals. Maybe you have 3 goals this year, 3 hopes. This kind of hope is uncountable. It's a general feeling, the feeling of spiritual hope. And this is uncountable, okay? Uncountable hope. A general, non-specific feeling. Okay, I hope that clears that up, Tomoko. If not, perhaps we can discuss it another time in more detail. I'm noticing my board is not very cooperative. Interesting. Okay. What else do we have here? Yeah, let's put Teres Biswakarma's suggestion. I have a hope that one day, this is a good example, Tomoko. I have a hope with the article a hope That's a singular, countable hope. I have a hope that one day I will have my dreams come true. So it's a very specific hope. Maybe Tireth has several hopes. This is one of them. So this is the countable meaning. Okay, let's look at Ornab's question. Now, Ornab, thank you for joining us. What country are you in? Tell us in the comment box. Now, this is a very complicated question, but it's also a very, very important question. Now, I'm not going to explain this in detail, Ornab, because I have a better solution. I have made a great video, which I think is great, all about this topic. So I want you to go to my YouTube channel, Hard Boiled English with Teacher Paul. It's on YouTube. Just search Teacher Paul's Hard Boiled English and look for this poster about verb transitivity. Yeah, this one. And let's remove the caption. Yeah, this video is all about verb transitivity. It explains it much better than I can here right now. It's got graphics, it's got animation, it's got a little dramatization and context. So look for that poster on my YouTube channel, and I'm sure this will clear it up for you, okay? It's a very good question, but it's also a very complex question that takes a lot of time, and I don't want to preoccupy the entire show answering that question. This is a very important question, and I want you to learn about this. I want you to understand this better, because transitivity affects other things like object choice. It also affects preposition use. So because it is so important and so impactful, I want you to learn it. I want you to understand it. Okay, so please check out my video about this topic. And if you're still confused, join me on the next show and we'll talk about it. We'll devote some time to it, okay? Okay, let's look at the question, when to use article a. You're not going to like this answer either, Ornab. On my YouTube channel is another video all about articles. And it can explain it a lot better than I can here. Okay? So I think perhaps you're a new viewer to the show and to my YouTube channel. But these are complicated topics, article use and verb transitivity. And for me to explain it properly here for you, so to really understand, it's going to take 30 minutes. And I don't want to devote the whole show to this question. So please, watch the video about this on the YouTube channel, and then we'll talk if you still don't understand it, okay? Sorry to do that twice to you, Ornab. From Bangladesh, thank you for joining us. Okay, let's look at Tiras. Tiras, what's zero conditional? This is a good question. Okay, great question, Tirath. Hopefully I'm saying your name correctly. Once again, I'm going to tell you guys, go to the YouTube channel and look for the video about conditionals. You'll see a poster that says, what the hell is a conditional? It explains it in a lot of detail. But I will address this question here. Zero conditional, real conditional. Okay. Well, a zero conditional is a real conditional, but think of the zero conditional as being used for always true conditionals. In fact, things like scientific truth, right? For example, if water cools to 0 degrees, it freezes. Okay? If water cools to 0 degrees, it freezes. You'll see that both of the verbs are in simple present, and we use simple present to talk about general truth, habits, or routines. In this case, it's such a general truth, it's a scientific fact. You can't possibly disagree with this unless the conditions are totally different, like you're not on Earth. But it's a scientific fact, so it's always true. So use zero conditionals for that. Can we remove the comment? A first real conditional, so this is zero conditional. A first conditional works a little bit similarly, but it's more of a personal condition. For example, if it rains, I wear a cap. Okay? Again, we use simple present verbs. But in this case, if it rains, I wear a cap. I don't like using umbrellas. I like to have my hands free, so I wear a cap. And, you know, the rain doesn't mess my hair, so I don't really need an umbrella. This is a first conditional. It's real because if this is true, this is true. This really happens, okay? But this is my habit. It's not a scientific fact. So it is possible that this changes, right? It's not always true. If it rains, sometimes I might forget my cap and just wear a hood. It's possible. Or sometimes I'm wearing a wool hat because it's cold and it's sunny and then it starts to rain. So I wasn't expecting it. So this is my habit. I'm not really expressing a scientific fact. And with a first conditional, I can also use, I can make the result happen in the future. For example, if it rains tonight, I will wear a cap. Just tonight. I can say that. If it rains tonight, I will wear a cap. Just tonight. It's only true tonight. So the first conditional is a little more flexible. This one is expressing something different. Is the grammar the same? Yeah, the grammar is the same. Simple present, right? We could also use other forms of future here. You could say, am going to, right? But with a zero conditional, you can't use the future. It's got to be present and present. And it expresses the meaning of fact, of always true. There is no condition where this is not true. There's no condition where this is not true. There is zero condition where this is not true. Remember what a condition is. It's a situation or a context. And there is no condition where this is not true. On earth, really. That's why it's called zero. There is zero condition where this is not true. However, if you look at this, there are some conditions where this is not true. If it rains tonight, I'm going to wear a cap, right? But it's also possible that if it rains tonight, I'm not going to wear a cap. It's not a scientific fact or truth. It's my choice and my habit. And I can change my habit anytime I want. I can't change this fact. So first conditional, there's some ability to change the possibilities. Okay, great question. Give me a moment, guys, to get this board clear. I know sometimes we go a little fast here, guys, but don't forget these recordings are always posted on my YouTube channel, Teacher Paul's Hardboiled English. So if you miss what I'm saying, don't worry, there's always an opportunity to review it. What else do we have here? Jun Hyung has a question. Let's go to this question about accents. The first one he's got. Paul, it could be a little far from. Okay, so this is not necessarily a grammar topic. He's interested in the importance of English accents and pronunciations. Well, tell you what, guys. A lot of students come to me and say, teacher, how do I get rid of my accent? I don't want you to do that. Your accents are beautiful, okay? Variety is the spice of life. Variety is wonderful. Your accents are never the problem. And I'll illustrate that with a little story in a second. Correct and accurate and clear pronunciation is important, though. And those are different things. Let me explain this. I want you to work on your pronunciation, but I don't necessarily want you to worry about your accent. Okay, accent is created by the speaker, right? But also by the listener. Okay, what the hell does that mean? Well, let me tell you a story. It's not a true story. It's a hypothetical situation. Let's say a beginner student, a beginner English student, arrives to my city to study at my school. They arrive to the city and they go to the airport and they get into a taxi cab. And in Vancouver, my city, it's a very multicultural city, and the taxi industry is largely operated by East Indian people, East Indian Canadians. Many of them are Sikh from India. And they speak either Hindi, Punjab, different languages, okay? Let's say my student gets into the taxi and there's a Sikh gentleman with a turban, very elegant turban, driving the taxi. And the taxi driver turns to my student, who's a beginner in English, and starts talking, okay? The taxi driver speaks. Now he's speaking English, but he has a very strong Indian accent. And he talks to my student, who has no idea what he's saying. Totally confused. What's he saying? I can't understand his accent. The next day, the student comes to my class and says, "Teacher Paul, I took a taxi, and there was a gentleman from India, and I didn't understand him. His accent was strong. But I learned his name. His name was Bob." Okay, an older Indian man named Bob, that's fine. A month later, I take my vacation, come back to the airport after my vacation, get a taxi, and I get in the taxi, and guess what? The taxi driver is the same. It's Bob, okay? Bob starts asking me questions. Same language he used with my student, same English with a strong accent, starts talking to me, but guess what? I have no trouble understanding him. I understand him perfectly. His English didn't change in 1 month, right? He didn't suddenly become a perfectly flat English speaker. The only difference between the experience the student had and the experience I had was I grew up with East Indian friends. I grew up hearing East Indian people speaking English with their accent. So my ear and my memory and my thoughts are familiar with it. But my student is not familiar with it. So who has the accent? The man who spoke to my student and was confused, or the man who spoke to me and I had no problem understanding him? Same guy, same English, two different listeners. One says, "Oh, his accent is so strong, teacher, I don't understand." And I said, "Oh, no problem." So what I want you to understand is that accent is a combination of things. It's a combination of dialects, pronunciation, certain sounds from your first language that influence how you speak and pronounce English sounds. But it's not important, because if you've heard those sounds before, like I have, you won't notice them. They won't interfere with your ability to understand, right? Your ability to understand depends on your familiarity with those sounds. So if this person is speaking English with good choice of vocabulary, good grammar structure, and grammar is the structure that expresses certain meanings. If their grammar is good, and most Indian speakers have excellent grammar, then it's your hearing that creates the accent more than the speaking. Now, if you want to be understood, and this is the goal of English, this is the goal of any language communication. You want to be understood clearly, and you want to be able to communicate precisely. In other words, what you have in your mind, you want to communicate that idea precisely, so your friend understands you and understands exactly what you were thinking. What's important here? What's important is the pronunciation of English sounds. What's important is the grammar structure of the sentence, so that they understand your meaning, okay? Your accent is not important, and your accent will change depending on where you are. The longer, Jung Hyung, I know you're in Canada, so the longer you stay in Canada, your sounds will change because of the people you're around, the sounds you hear. You naturally kind of absorb them and imitate them, just like children do, okay? So I don't want you to worry about accent. I want you to worry about using the right word, saying the word correctly, right? So if the word is I talked to her, I talked to her. I don't want you to say I talk to her. I want you to practice saying that ending so your friend knows this is past tense. Okay? That's more important than the sound of your voice. Making sure you pronounce the parts of the word fully and precisely is much more important. Because if you say, I talked to her, it's going to sound like you're expressing your habit, not something you did in the past. That's more important for communication. Now, in general, you're learning English in Canada, which is, I think, a good place to learn, because the Canadian sound or accent is kind of stuck in the middle between the American accent and the British accent, which is where it all came from. Now, we in Canada think the British people have an accent, but it's their language. So actually, we have the accent, and they're sort of the starting point of the language. So they're ground zero or the neutral. Accents depend on the regions, right? The sounds people make depend on the regions. Different parts of the US, which is a highly populated place, have different dialects and accents. So there's a lot of variety there. And that's also because the original Americans who came from Britain came from different parts of Britain. Different parts of Britain have different accents. There's people in South England, North England, West England, Scotland, Ireland. They all came to the US and went to different areas. And in those areas, in isolation, grew different dialects. For you, I don't think you should worry about any of that. I think you should just worry about pronouncing the parts of the word, all of them. Things like this. Some students struggle with this. She speaks nicely. You need that S. And if your language doesn't have an S on the verb, that's fine. But in English, we need it to make the meaning clear. So I want you to focus on saying those parts. Don't say she speak nicely, because that's not an accent. That's an error. And you won't communicate your meaning precisely. So I think you shouldn't worry about accent sounds. You should worry about making each sound clear, each part of the word. If it needs to be there, I want you to work on having that sound there, right? Or if it's a countable noun, make sure you get the S there. Those pieces are more important than worrying about accent, Mark. Jeonhyung, okay? Hopefully that answers your question. Okay, so you want to know some tips about how to change that. Well, you can just practice. There's no substitute for practice. I suggest reading out loud and making sure you speak every part and detail of the sentence. Choose some paragraphs to read out loud in your home. Maybe record them and say the same one over and over again. Get your lips and tongue practicing. And if you say it over and over again, you will improve your speed. And you'll use that speed in regular daily conversations. Okay? There's no substitute for practice. And speaking a language is a lot like a sport. You're using muscles. You're using your lips and your tongue. And English uses a lot of lips. Some languages don't use a lot of lip movement. Some languages like Japanese, for example, do not require a lot of lip movement. I'm not sure about Korean, but some languages don't use a lot of lip movement. So you might be uncomfortable or just not trained to use your lips to pronounce sounds. Work on that, because in English, you cannot make these sounds without those specific lip and tongue movements. For example, the sound TH, right? Take a bath, or the. There's only one way to make that sound, which is tongue between your teeth. Now, you can develop your skill to the point where the tongue just touches your teeth. It doesn't stick out like a dog, right? But when you're practicing and learning it, stick your tongue out like a dog. Do it at home where it's embarrassing, but get that tongue between the teeth. It's the only way to produce that sound. If you resist that, if you're shy about your tongue, you're never going to make that sound. You're going to make all kinds of other sounds like bass, take a bass, or z. And that's not English. That's how what these accents are produced. So focus on the precision. Take a reading passage of some advanced English, say it nice and slowly aloud, pronounce all the parts, and practice it over and over again and get your speed up. You're training your muscles. I can speak quickly because my muscles are trained to move quickly. Okay? That's my tip. Okay. Oh, we have Masa from Japan in the house. We have Med's question about CELTA. Let's talk about that quickly. So CELTA is a certificate for teacher training. If you want to be an English teacher, you need some training. To be a great teacher, you need education because people are counting on your knowledge. So I recommend having a university degree. And then there are several programs you can take and get certified in. CELTA is one. There's other ones too, like TESOL. There's even TESOL. I have both TESOL and TESOL certificates. I never studied the CELTA program, but these programs are good because they teach you how to teach English. If you're a native speaker, you might think, oh, I can teach English, no problem. I didn't really think that, but I've met a lot of young teachers and new teachers who do believe that, and students who believe that. It's not true, because a lot of native speakers don't understand how they learned their language. So even if they speak English well, they may not understand how to explain it. They may be able to use perfect grammar, for example, but not explain why they use that grammar in that situation. So these programs teach you how to break that down, teach you how to convey that information. They also teach you classroom techniques, how to get students learning different ways. Now, the purpose, well, the purpose is to show a school that you want to work at, so a company or an employer, to show that you are qualified to be a teacher. You can't just walk in off the street and say, yo, man, I want to teach English. Give me a job. You say that, they're going to say, who the hell are you? But if you give them a CELTA certificate, they know you worked hard to study and prepare to become an English teacher. The CELTA certificate tells that information. Depends where you are. In some places, you can't even get a job without one of these certificates. They won't even look at you. They will not give you a job. And in other countries, they don't care. As long as you're a native speaker, they'll give you a job. That's unfortunate, because I don't think that makes you a good teacher. I have lots of friends who speak perfect English, beautiful English, better than me. I wouldn't pay them money to teach me. Okay, we have time for a couple more questions, guys. Ornab has a question about me. Good question. Where are you from, Paul? We'll come back to Maria. Let's look at Ornab's. So apparently Ornab doesn't know me very well. I am from Canada. I was born and raised in the Toronto area, which is the center area of Canada. But now I live in Vancouver on the west coast of Canada. I've also spent a lot of time in Japan. I studied there. I did a TESOL program there. So I've had some experiences abroad. Is there a way to be mentored by teachers like you? Well, you can hire me as a private tutor. I do work with students privately. I can't say I do it for free. I do charge money for this. This is my profession. But if you want private lessons or mentorship, go to my website, teacherpaulsclassroom.com. Have a look. Maybe you don't want to be mentored by me. That's your choice. But this website will give you some more information about me. And you can contact me on an email, in an email from there. Thank you for asking. Let's go to Maria's question. Let me have a look at it. Where was it? Oh, Merry Christmas. Yeah, sure. Well, it's that time of year, guys. I want to call a friend to wish him a Merry Christmas. What would be the best expressions? Well, I'll tell you the one that everyone uses that you cannot beat. Quite simply, Merry Christmas. Simple. And you can put their name here. Merry Christmas, Bob. Merry Christmas, Maria. Merry Christmas, Paul. Simple is always best. It's powerful. It's an order too, because what you're really saying is, I wish you a Merry Christmas. Sorry, can't get that A in there. I wish you a Merry Christmas. That means I want you to have a Merry Christmas. But that's a lot of words. Even this is a lot of words. If you're sending a powerful emotional message, it's good to shorten it. So most people just say, Merry Christmas, right? Now, if they're not Christians, maybe they're Jewish, maybe they're Muslim. If you don't know, some people use Happy Holidays or I wish you. So there are several different holidays this time of year, depending on your religion or culture. This covers all of them, right? So Happy Holidays, go for that. If you just want to say hi, sometimes people say season's greetings. Greeting means hello, right? Greeting someone hello. Season's greeting is hello. You could start a letter or a card with season's greetings. I wish you a Merry Christmas. You can also say, I wish you and your family, your wife, your husband, your sister, your brother, whomever. I wish you and your family a Merry Christmas. Okay? Those are the basics. Those are the best. They convey the message that you want. Okay? Great question. I saw a question down here by Hiroe Yasui. Can we go to Hiroe's question? Hiroe is a new viewer with us. Yeah, so Hiroe is in Japan. And for Japanese speakers, R and L are a challenge. In the Japanese language, and I can speak to this because I have studied Japanese. Now, I don't speak it very well. I speak like a baby, akachan mitai, but I do know about this. In Japanese, that the sound of R and L they're not different, okay? And unfortunately, many Japanese people learn English using the katakana alphabet. And that's okay, but it's not perfect because the katakana alphabet does not express all the English sounds. For example, katakana or hiragana or even kanji does not capture this sound. So if you're learning English in Japan with katakana, you're never hearing this sound properly. It ends up sounding like Z, like mother becomes maza, right? Because that should be a TH sound. So this is the problem, and this is the reason why. But I can teach you how to pronounce R's and L's. Okay, L, R. To make these different sounds, there are two facial movements you need to practice. You need to learn how to do them, and then you need to practice them. And they're different, and you have to make them different. What I want you to do is I want you to practice these by yourself, maybe in the bathroom in a mirror, so you can make funny faces, and you won't be embarrassed because it's not public, because you're going to need to make funny faces. If you do not do these facial movements with your lip and tongue, you can't make these sounds. So you've got to practice privately and then get better at it. First of all, the L. In your mouth, you have teeth upstairs and teeth downstairs. I'm not a good artist, so I'm going to make a mouth like that, okay? We have teeth up there and teeth down there. And we have a tongue. To make the L sound, your tongue has to touch the top of your teeth like this. L, L, L. Now, when you practice, I want you to make that exaggerated, like flick it. L, L, L. The more you practice, the smaller the movement will become, more elegant. Excuse me. More elegant. Excuse me, guys. Your movement will become more elegant. For example, I can say that without a big face movement. L, L. I can just touch the teeth. But your tongue has to touch the back of your teeth. Okay? R, very different. Geez, this looks like a bird. Sorry, guys. I can't draw very well. Okay, so this one, the tongue doesn't hit the teeth. The tongue stays at the back of the mouth. In fact, I suggest you practice putting your tongue to one side and maybe opening your face to one side like I do here. R, R, R. Your tongue just kind of lays flat and goes to the side. R. Now, if you practice with a big movement, R, R, you'll catch the sound. And later you can shrink your face down once you've trained your muscles. R, R, R. You're vibrating your throat, your voice box, and the sound is off to the side a little bit. There's no tongue here. So R, there's no tongue doing this. That's a big difference. The L, the tongue has to flick. L, L, L. There's no other way to make that sound. And you can see how different it is from the R. I can make R sound with my mouth open. R, R. I'm just vibrating here, pushing the sound out, and the tongue is flat. R, R, L. That's the difference. And there is no other way to make those sounds different. Okay? You have to learn those movements and then practice them. Now, if you've never been taught these facial movements, your muscles of your face and your tongue aren't familiar with them. It's just like learning how to golf, right? But if you want to make these sounds, you have to use these movements. If you don't, it's like saying, teacher, show me how to play tennis, but I've never played tennis before, so my muscles don't know this movement. But I have played baseball, so I'm going to use these movements. That's ridiculous. If you want to learn to play tennis, you have to use tennis movements. You can't use baseball movements. Okay? So don't use baseball movements. Don't use Japanese sounds to make English sounds. Okay? Use English movements to make English sounds. Now, it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be embarrassing. But so is watching me play tennis. Because I've learned to play tennis a little bit, and I'm terrible. It's embarrassing. It's uncomfortable. Because when I was young, I played basketball, I played football, I played baseball. So my muscles were trained to do those movements. But it's fun, and I'm getting better. Wow, we've got some really nice messages here. Let's look at Mien's question about mango. I'm going to answer one more question, guys, then I'm going to bring on our guests. Okay, I eat mango or I eat mangoes. Which one is correct? Well, the answer is they're both correct. Remember that nouns can be either countable or uncountable, and some nouns can be both. Foods are often able to be both. When we say I eat mango, you're talking about the substance. Just like if I say, excuse me, I usually drink water. Right? Water is a substance. Mango is a substance. It's a material. It's a food material like water or rice. And it's uncountable meaning here. The meaning is uncountable. It's the name of a substance. Air is a substance. Okay? But you can also say, I eat mangoes. What's the difference? Well, this is clearly a countable meaning. And this means you eat individual mangoes. items. Now, each of those mangoes is made of mango, the material, but when I listen to this, I form a picture in my mind when you communicate. Your listener forms a picture in their mind. When you say I eat mangoes, this is what they picture. They picture mangoes, yummy, individual fruits. When you say I eat mango, they're imagining that beautiful yellow substance, that beautiful yellow sweet substance. They're not imagining individual mangoes. They're seeing the substance in their mind. So this is the difference between countable and uncountable meaning. And these are both correct. It depends what you want to communicate. It depends what picture you want your friend to have in their mind, right? If I say something like, yesterday, dude, I ate 3 mangoes, that's clearly what they have in their mind. If you say, I love to eat mango, or I use mango in my smoothie, they're picturing the yellow, beautiful, sweet substance. They're not picturing or imagining individual mangoes, right? Great question. Great question. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me just find Nick. Nick, are you with us? If you are, say hello in the comments. Is James with us? Sorry, guys, I'm just making contact with our guests. Where is Nick? Okay, go to the 3 dots on the right where it says reply. That's where you'll give him the link. Yep. Guys, just getting our guests lined up. Yeah, put it right beside at Nic Darwin. And then paste it. Okay, great. Then you have to send it. Yeah. Copy, paste, and send. Perfect. Yeah, now he'll get it along. Okay. Andrea Hill, thank you. Great answer on mangoes. I appreciate that. Let's go back to Hiroe's question. He's got an extension of this question. Good words to practice R and L. Where is it? Did we see this one yet? Okay, good. Yeah, what you want to do is start maybe with words that have one of the sounds in it, like left, left, right, left, right. Focus on making that sound different and practice those lots of times. This is a challenging sound for you to make, so I want you to practice a lot. There's no substitute. If you want to learn how to be a good golfer, what do? You practice. If you want to learn to swing a baseball bat nicely, what do? You practice, right? So with speaking, we have to practice. Now, I know a lot of students want a magic solution. They want to, take an English CD and upload it into your head and have instant English. It doesn't work like that, especially speaking. Speaking is a physical skill. You've got to exercise the muscles. Literally, you really do. And there's no substitute for practice, okay? Especially the problem sounds. Once you're comfortable with those and you can switch back and forth, left, right, try words with both of them in it, like really, or parallel. These are more challenging. And try to say those, switching back and forth inside the word. Now, maybe Andrea and Anish can add some comments here. Anish was with us last week. So if you want some advice about speaking, this is for Junghyung and also for Hiroe. Go to my website, go to the YouTube channel and look for last week's episode about how to improve speaking confidence. My guest was Anish Dea, a teacher and language coach from Toronto, who runs an amazing program that does wonders developing language learners' speaking confidence. And he'll explain it on the show. He was a guest last week. So go to that episode and check his program out. Now, he's got a little advice here. I think he just added in the comment feed you can check out. Okay, Gurtej Singh from India, Punjab, is talking about the difference between S and Z. We talked on an earlier episode about the voiced and unvoiced sounds in English. When we make a sound like S, how do we make this sound? Well, we're putting our tongue up here on the top of our mouth, on the roof of our mouth, up here. Not necessarily to the teeth, but just on the roof. And we're blowing air. We're saying S, just air coming through. Z, the tongue's in the same position. However, we're not just blowing air with Z. This is called a voiced sound. We are vibrating. Zzz. Same tongue position, but you're vibrating and passing the air. Zzz. Big difference. So practice the vibration. Guys, I'm just talking to our guest. Juan Graciano Oyarte, thank you for your comment. That's very kind. Very kind. And Juan Graciano is from Colombia. And if social media is not being deceitful, I think he's in Cartagena right now. Beautiful part of Colombia. In fact, I was in Cartagena a year ago and had a wonderful visit. Let's look at Anish Dea's tongue twisters. As I said, Anish is an expert on helping students develop their English speaking confidence and ability. So here's a tongue twister when you're really ready and confident with your L and R sound. Let me try and say this for you. Just going to get my fan here so our camera doesn't explode. So here's one. Red lorry, yellow lorry. Say it like that with exaggerated facial movements. Practice the muscle movement. Then later you can make it small and elegant. First, you've got to be awkward and uncomfortable and strange face, okay? Red lorry, yellow lorry. A really leery Larry rolls readily to the road. Rory's lawn rake rarely rakes really right. Lucky rabbits like to cause a ruckus. I looked right at Larry's rally and left in a hurry. Practice those. Those are fun. I want to reach out to our guest, Nic. Nic, are you with us? If you are, say hello in the comment feed right away. We're just about ready to bring you guys on and need to see you. Yeah, let's put Anish's question up here while we're waiting for our guest to get ready. What are you looking forward to in 2021? Okay. while you guys type the answer in here, I'm going to briefly chat with Nic. Nic, did you receive the link? We sent you the link to join the broadcast. We'll send it again, just to make sure. Okay, Tereth has a good answer. He's looking forward to get rid of this corona. Yes. We have great news out there in the world, though. The vaccines are starting to happen. I'm not sure about your countries, but in Canada, we've already begun vaccinating some seniors who are at risk and healthcare workers. So there's some good news. Okay, so Anish is giving us a nice structure here. How to answer this. I'm looking forward to verb plus ing. So Tara's sentence could be, first, I'm looking forward to, first, getting rid of this corona. Getting rid. Duka says, I'm looking forward to traveling freely again. Okay, what else are you guys looking forward to in 2021? I'm looking forward to, yep, one moment. Anish says, as for me, I'm looking forward to joining Paul on his amazing show. Thank you, Anish. Anish was my guest last week. Perhaps very soon, maybe next week. Actually, next week we're going to be down. Next week we're all taking a break. The following week, New Year's Eve, we will return with the show. Aya's note says, I am looking forward to exploring more opportunities that help me grow. Wonderful. By the way, guys, Aya's notes is she has a YouTube channel, a vlog, and she's chronicling her life as a English learner and student living in Canada. Very interesting topic. Okay, guys, we're just about ready to have our guest on, so let me introduce my guest. Ladies and gentlemen, let's clear the comments first. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to introduce you a friend of mine, a former student, a wonderful singer-songwriter, musician who lives in Brazil, and he writes, performs, and records music. And he's going to sing a song for us. He's going to sing two songs, one shortly and one later in the show. And what's very interesting about Nic is that although Portuguese, Brazilian Portuguese, is his first language, he studied English and uses his English knowledge in his songs. He sings in English. So I believe he's going to sing a song in English, and he may even have a language question for me. So ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you Nic Darwi. Let's bring Nic on. And Nic,
hi, Paul.
Audio on.
Is my audio working? Can you hear me?
Nic, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you?
Yep, sounds good.
Okay, fine.
How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to be part of this. It's an honor. And let's do it. Do you want me to play already, or? Well,
why don't we start by you introducing yourself?
Okay.
What can you tell us about your? Your language learning
learning
experience.
experience.
Yeah. Okay. So, as Paul said, I'm from Brazil, São Paulo, born and raised, and I write songs since my 12s, I think. And I always loved to write in English, but you know, when I was young, bad English, bad grammar. So, 2015, I went to Vancouver to study English, and I met Paul. And when I started to studying with Paul, my English knowledge came from here to, you know, uh, from zero to learning Eminem songs.
Well, that's nice of you to say, Nick. But your English was pretty good when you came to Canada.
Yeah, just a little. I mean, I had bad habits in English, so
That happened.
it helped me a lot to break it into pieces and to find out to learn the best way to overcome my obstacles in English.
Yeah.
And that helped me a lot with writing my new songs. I think that almost no one here knows me as an artist, but I have lots of songs, and Paul has helped me like reviewing the lyrics and telling me what's good, what's useful, what's not, and that's fantastic.
Now, Nick, you probably listen to a lot of music with English lyrics, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Have you ever noticed something that's confusing?
Yes, actually, lately I've been writing lots of songs, and I recently caught myself writing a song, writing a word or an expression, if you would, that's interesting. That's vastly used in lots of songs in English by native artists, native lyricists. That's the word ain't.
Ain't.
Yeah. And I was wondering if it is a real word, and if it is, where does it come from? Why people use it? Because when you sing ain't or I'm not, they're pretty much the same length. So why use it?
Yeah.
Well, I can explain this. Why don't we shrink Nick and give me the board a little bit? Other way. Yeah, we'll make you big in a minute, Nick.
Okay.
But it basically works like this. I'm going to remove this. Well, we've talked about this before. First of all, is it a real word or not? Well, if people use it, it's real. And if it communicates some meaning, it's real, and you have to deal with it. Now, it's often used in music. And remember, music is an art form, and art form doesn't have to have perfect grammar. It has to communicate emotion. And it also has to fit the rhythms, as you know well, right, Nick?
Yeah.
And one thing that's different between am not and ain't is that this is one syllable, one beat. This is two. I am not, I ain't. So if you're crafting a rhythm, lyrics with a rhythm, maybe you need one syllable. So that's one reason. But let's look at the grammar quickly. In English, when we use the be verb, we have to change form a lot. We have to say things like, I am Paul. She is Sue. They are nice. Right? And when we use past tense, we have to change forms. Right? And if we use other tenses like present perfect, we have to change forms.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of forms to learn. Right? That's a lot of forms of the be verb to learn. Now, Nick, will you turn your mic off for a second?
Oh yeah, sure.
There seems to be an echo.
Sorry.
This often happens. That's okay. So there's a lot of forms to learn. It may actually be me as well, guys. There's a lot of forms of the be verb to learn in English. Now, this is how I speak because I have learned those things. I'm lucky enough to grow up in a fairly rich country and have a good education. Not everyone is. Not everyone grows up with a solid education. Not everyone grows up in the kind of wealth that is required to get a good education, Nick. Some people grow up poor, and some people never finish school. For example, in some parts of the US, there's a lot of poverty, as well as Canada. And what happens? Well, they don't finish school necessarily, but they need to be able to communicate all these different meanings, present tense, past tense, present perfect. There's got to be some way to communicate it because language reflects reality. And it doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, your reality that you're trying to communicate will be similar. Obviously, there are some differences. So over time, poor people and marginalized people like the African Americans in the US who are pushed away and denied the right to have education, develop their own way of communicating this. Ain't. And it's still used. Why? Because people still grow up poor and uneducated. And it's a sad fact. But with music and the arts, it doesn't matter if you're educated or poor. And there's a lot of musicians you probably like, Nick, rappers, singer-songwriters, rock stars, who don't have great education. They have great talent. They have great work ethic to work hard and develop their craft, but maybe they never finished school. I think Justin Bieber, for example, in Canada, didn't even finish high school. So maybe we can't expect him to have perfect grammar. And the good thing about ain't is you can use it all the way in these situations. You can say, by the way, it's negative. So instead of saying am not Paul, I can say I ain't Paul. And instead of saying she is not Sue, we can say she ain't Sue. And instead of saying they are not nice, we can say they ain't nice. And instead of saying they were not nice, they can even use it in past tense. She has been nice. She ain't been nice. They haven't been nice becomes they ain't been nice. So you can see how this is useful for people that don't know the other grammar, right? It replaces a whole bunch of verb forms you need to learn if you want to use them that way. So in that sense, Nick, it's useful to communicate. And I would venture to say it started with people who lacked the education of all the be forms. Now, the big question is, should you use it? Well, as an artist, you're free to. You can use it in your lyrics because lyrics, the obligation of lyrics is to fit the rhythm and to express an emotional content, not necessarily a grammatical or intellectual meaning. As for you learners out there who are watching this show, should you use it? I would say don't use it. Because when you use it, people do judge you. They're going to assume you're uneducated. They're going to assume you're poor and can't afford school. And if you are one of those persons who can't afford school, I understand, and I don't judge that. But a lot of my viewers are from comfortable families, comfortable countries, and they shouldn't be talking like they're not, right? In your case, Nick, you come from a wealthy country, a comfortable family, and you're a smart guy. So you should sound like a smart guy, because that's what you are. If you try to sound like someone who grew up in the inner city poor neighborhood, or something like that, or lacked education, if you try to sound like that, you're not going to be very honest or real. And I think that's more important than anything. So for the learners and viewers out there, I would suggest not using that. Let the artists use it. And Nick, you're an artist. So whether or not you use it, I wouldn't make a habit of using it, but every once in a while, you can use it if it fits the rhythm and the musical content. If someone like me uses it, the person who's with me knows that I know the correct way to use the be verb. So they're going to laugh. They're going to know that I'm using it comically or ironically to sound like a gangster or something. Because they expect me to use the be verb like this because I'm fortunate enough to have a decent education. Let's bring Nic back on the screen. Does that answer your question, Nic?
Sure, it does.
Awesome.
Thanks for the explanation.
Now, Nic, are you ready to
sing
us a song?
Sure, let's do it.
Okay, let's get me off screen.
Okay, so this is a very famous Christmas song, White Christmas. I hope you're all having a great day. Let's do it. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones we used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white.
Thanks a lot, Nic.
Thank you, Paul.
Here we are. Thank you very much, Nic. At this point, I'm going to take you off screen. Bring our next guest on.
Awesome.
But we'll have you back at the end of the show, okay?
Sure. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you, Nic.
Thank you, Nic.
Take care. We'll see you in a little bit. Stay with us, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Now, my next guest is going to be with us in a moment. Let me just check and see if it's good. Okay. Not yet. Okay, guys, I want to tell you a story. Let's clear the overlay. I want to tell you a little story because recently I was contacted by a student named Sam. And Sam sent me a message, and he was asking me about some expressions. He said, "English is very confusing, teacher. Can you help me with my English?" So I said, well, of course I can, Sam. And so I suggested Sam join us on the show today. So I want you to welcome a very, very brave language learner because he's going to join us on air. So ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to my new friend, Sam. Language learner, because he's going to join us on air. So ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to my new friend, Sam. Hi, Sam.
Hello.
Now, Sam, I need you to turn down your audio a little bit because you're getting an echo.
Introduce you to my new friend, Sam.
Perfect. Hi, Sam. How are you?
Wow. Hello, Teacher Paul.
So where are you in the world right now? Are you in Canada with me?
Wow, I'm on the internet. This is awesome.
You're just floating in the internet.
Okay. Hey, that was a very good song.
Yeah, isn't Nick great?
Nick is awesome. I'm a big fan.
And don't forget, English is his second language, and he sings like that in English. It's pretty great.
Wow, that's very, very impressive. Well, I'm learning English too, and I have some questions.
Well, I'm here to answer your question, Sam. What do you want to know about English? Grammar, vocabulary?
I have a joke.
A joke?
Yes. Okay, here's my joke.
Go ahead.
All right. There's a weird echo here. I can hear what I'm saying.
Yeah, you've got to make sure your audio is low. Otherwise,
yeah, I might turn it off. All right. Here is my joke. What goes up but never goes down?
Yeah, you've got to make sure your audio is low. Otherwise, I might turn it off.
How about the price of gas for my car? It's always going up.
This guy's good. Nope. Do you want to know the answer?
I do.
Your age.
Well, Sam, that is true. Last year, I was 54. Now I'm 55, so that does go up. How old are you?
Well, how old am I? 6. You're 6. Oh, I'm 6.
6? I'm disappointed in you, Sam. When I was your age, I was already 9.
I get it. Hey, jokes are a good way to learn English, right?
They are, absolutely. If you can learn jokes and share them with your friends, you can even discuss why they're funny. Because sometimes they're funny because of the grammar or a word twist.
Exactly.
Do you know some other jokes?
You can even discuss why they're funny.
That's right.
They're funny because of the grammar or a word twist.
Or word play. I love word play.
Do you have an example to share with me?
I'm just thinking, how about some idioms? Can you teach me an idiom?
Sure. There's a very famous one we hear a lot in English. I live in Vancouver, Canada. Mm-hmm. Now, you might think, Sam, of Canada as like snowy, cold place.
Sure.
I live on the West Coast where it's not very cold. It's usually pretty warm, but it rains all the time. Doesn't snow, it rains. So we might say it rains cats and dogs. It rains cats and dogs.
Really?
Not really. When the rain comes down, it's not a cat and a dog.
Can you catch them?
Well, no, I can't catch a cat and a dog.
Really?
What happens is it rains hard, a lot. And when it hits you kind of hard, so it feels a bit like a cat and a dog. This is an idiom.
And when it hits you, it hits you kind of hard, so it feels a bit like a cat and a dog.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's like boom, 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 boom. Cats and dogs falling on the roof.
That's right. So
I like that one.
So
it's raining dogs and cats.
Yeah, or cats and dogs. Now this is what we call This is what we call figurative language. It's not exactly what the words say. The meaning is something else. That's figurative. The opposite is called literal.
Figurative language.
Mm-hmm.
Literal means exactly what this says, according to the words. So if I said, it's literally raining cats and dogs, Sam, literally, that means cats and dogs are coming down.
Literal means exactly what this says.
That would be scary.
However, it's uncommon for cats and dogs to rain. So I don't usually need to say literally. I would just say it's raining cats and dogs. And you should know that's a figurative expression, an idiom.
What is it? Figuratively.
Figuratively or figurative expression or an idiom.
Oh, I like that.
So
Right.
if I said it's literally raining cats and dogs.
Idioms are figurative. They mean something different than the words say.
Oh, idioms are fun. I like idioms.
Do you know any other
I
one?
could eat. I heard one yesterday. I could eat a horse.
I could eat a horse.
I would
So-
say it's raining cats.
You're hungry.
No, that's a figurative expression.
A horse burger.
Horse burger. I could eat a horse.
Figuratively or figurative expression or an idiom.
Still catching a lot of echo, Sam. Is there a way to turn your audio down or wear headphones or something?
I think I might have to turn it off.
Yeah.
Then I can't hear you.
Could you wear an earplug or something so it doesn't go into your microphone?
I don't have ears.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Your ears don't really look like they work.
Yeah, they're made from fabric.
Fabric, yeah.
I could eat a horse.
Okay, let me talk about this. I could eat a horse, Sam. Now, if I ate a horse, I'd be full, right? So I only eat a horse if I'm really hungry, right? So you're basically saying, I am so hungry.
Yeah, that's right. I am so hungry
That
I could eat a horse burger.
Right? A horse or a horse burger, yeah. Now, I'm sure somebody has eaten horse meat. I can't remember if I have or not. You can
What
you can
happened to the sound? Oh, wait a minute.
you can
Let me
eat
turn it
horse
up.
meat.
So we can
In some
hear Teacher
places.
Paul. Hurry up. Okay.
So I only eat a horse if I'm really hungry.
Well,
Because the
Lucas
horse
said
is
he
big.
ate. Oh, Lucas said he ate a horse.
So
Yeah.
hungry.
Now, an expression like this comes from a culture that where a horse is really important.
Eat a horse, right? A horse or a horse burger, yeah.
So, for
I've got an idea,
example,
Teacher Paul.
Somebody has eaten horse meat.
in a culture like the U.S. that had the kind of Western history where people used the horse to get around, to travel on, the horse was very important. So, if you were
Yes.
hungry, the last thing you want to eat is your horse. Your horse is like your friend. Very important.
That's right.
So
It's ridiculous.
it's ridiculous. But if you were starving, maybe you have to eat your horse. But it's like
Well,
it's the last thing you're going to eat.
no way. No, thank you.
Yeah, I don't want to eat my horse either. Not that I have a horse. Do you have a horse, Sam?
Don't you have horses in Canada with the policeman on the horse?
Yeah, it's funny. We do, but usually only for ceremonies or parades. Those are the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, the RCMP.
Yeah, that's right. My friend said Mounties. They're called
Mounties.
Mounties.
200 years ago, those guys were the policemen of the country, and they rode around on their horses.
That's
Nowadays,
so cool.
But nowadays, the RCMP wear suits and ties. They're like the FBI. They're detectives. They're regular
Oh,
policemen.
that's interesting.
But there are national police force, so they take care of big crimes
Why are they called Mounties?
because they're mounted on their horse. Mounted means sitting on top.
It's
So they're
short
the-
for mounted.
Mounted. Royal Canadian Mounted Police. So police that are mounted on a horse.
What's that called when they make the word shorter?
Abbreviations
Oh, abbreviation.
or shortcuts.
Shortcut. I like that one.
Yeah.
Shortcut.
So, Sam, how long have you been studying English?
6 years. 6 years.
6 years. That's a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I'm not very good.
your English is pretty awesome.
Wow. Wait a minute. That's my happy bell.
Does that mean you're happy?
Yeah.
Or that means, okay, good. Now, we talked earlier in the show about accents, and I have a feeling when you speak, you have a slightly regional accent that's different than mine. I guess your accent comes from Australia. Am I right?
You are right.
Good. It's a game I play. I like to learn about different dialects and accents of English and try to identify where they're from.
How about let's play a game? I'll do
Sure.
an accent and you guess where I'm from. Are you ready?
Perfect.
You all right, mate?
You're all right, mate. That sounds like a South London accent.
Wow, you're good. Okay. Okay, the new.
Maybe like a Viking accent, like Norway or something?
Not bad. Okay.
Swedish.
How about this one for all our friends? I am very happy to meet you today.
That sounds a bit Indian.
He's very good. Yeah, he's very good.
Well, Sam,
Yes.
I don't want my camera or my computer to melt, so I think it's time that you introduce your friend who's with you.
Oh, he has to get up.
Is he lying down on the sofa?
It might take a while. Okay, wait a minute. Wait for
Sure.
1 minute, okay?
Yeah. And I want you to introduce him.
Oh,
This is like,
okay, I can do that. Okay, wait a minute. I'll turn the camera off for 1 minute.
okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, our friend Sam is going to go get his friend and bring his friend on the show. So they're going to come back in a moment.
I just need to turn my light on, teacher.
Yeah,
Paul.
no problem.
Yeah. So who was the guy singing before? That was really good.
Yeah, that's a student of mine named Nic Darwin. Well, he's a former student.
Yep.
After you and I chat, we're going to bring Nick back to sing a new song he's written.
Awesome. So he was a student in Canada where you live.
That's right. Actually, Nick, if you're still with us, maybe you can type in your where we can find your original music. Can you type in your Spotify links and things like that?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I'd like you guys. Nick did a great version of White Christmas, of course, but I'd also like you to hear his original music. He has some fantastic songs that are on Spotify and different music outlets.
Yep. Really good voice. Really good. Okay. Sorry, I just had to rearrange my office a little bit.
Quite all right.
Let's try this again. And I got rid of the echo as well.
Beautiful. Hi there.
Hello. Oh, that's better. Hello, Paul.
Hello. And who are you?
Sorry?
Who are you?
Oh, I'm James. Hello. Hello, everyone.
Oh, hi, James. Oh, there's Sam. Hi, Sam.
Here's Sam. Can you see? We're kind of squashed in together.
Hello, everyone.
So this is James Marshall. James is a new friend of mine, and James is a teacher,
Yes.
an English teacher, currently in Thailand, right, James?
Yes, that's right, Thailand. I'm from Australia, but I've been living in China for, 11 years, and then Thailand for 3 years, teaching English.
Wow. And you teach English with Sam. Is Sam
That's
your
right.
assistant?
Actually, yeah, he's my co-teacher. Yeah. So everywhere I go, I take a puppet, either Sam or a monkey or something else. I really love puppetry.
As do I. Those of you who know me well may know that when I was a child, I loved puppetry. I loved Jim Henson's Muppets. I love the Bill Baird marionettes. I used to go to theater productions and see puppetry whenever it came to my town. I loved it. So I was really excited to meet you and see what you're doing with puppetry in English teaching.
Yes.
I think it's wonderful.
And likewise, when I saw your videos, hard-boiled English, amazing, very cool.
Thank you.
So when you contacted me, I was very happy, Paul. I was quite over the moon. Yeah, we were very happy to meet you.
And Sam, who do you normally teach? What level of English or what age group?
Oh, well, that's the thing. I think your students are older, like adults, but I mainly teach 3 to around 9 or 10 years old.
Okay.
So I'm a kindergarten teacher, but online, I teach online 100% now. Most of my students are 3 till 10. So they're young
Wonderful.
learners, but they can, they can still speak basic sentences.
Yeah. For example, my students tend to be like Nic, who we just met, the singer. Nic's a young man. She's not a kindergarten child.
Yes.
Now, do you find that your learners respond or connect with you or with Sam?
Oh, definitely Sam. Especially, sorry, I've got a bit of a flu today. Sorry, guys.
No problem.
But especially the very young children, 3 or 4 years old, they're still toddlers, yeah? And they can be a little bit scared of a big foreign man, like me.
Understood.
So they're a little bit scared. But as soon as I bring out Sam, he's this colorful, friendly, happy little character. So they will instantly connect with Sam, and then they start to associate Sam with me. So they know that I'm safe and I'm friendly.
That's wonderful.
Everything's okay. So that's a really good tool for teaching.
And that sense of comfort and safety is important, even for adult learners, because you have to have an environment where they feel comfortable making mistakes, revealing themselves, making those funny faces I recommended earlier. And they're worried that their friends and classmates are going to make fun of them, or worse, that their teacher is going to be angry at them. So especially with the young ones, I think having Sam there must really put them at ease and get their confidence ready to practice, right?
And his character that I made for him, he often makes mistakes
Perfect.
deliberately to get a laugh out of the kids. So
Nice.
then they start to realize that making mistakes is not the end of the world. It can be
That's
funny.
right. Yeah.
And then when he does make a mistake, I'll gently correct him.
Yeah.
And then they can see him learning and making the correct statement. And then they see, oh, that's what this is all about. So it's not a test, There's no pressure. So that's a really good, it's a good point.
I think that's really important because we all make mistakes. I do this live show every week and I make mistakes.
Exactly, yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And mistakes are the way that we can improve. So before, when you said the word figuratively, he got it wrong deliberately. Figuratively.
Yeah.
And then you can correct him and say, figuratively.
That's right.
And then you can break it down,
Yeah, it's wonderful. And I understand also that you share your puppets with other teachers. So other teachers who are interested can use puppets.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we have a Facebook group for puppetry training for teachers. It's all free. We just get together and have fun, basically. And we learn how to use these arm rods, and we learn about lip syncing. It's very low pressure. Like, as you may have seen, I don't do ventriloquism, which is where you speak without moving your mouth. I can't do that.
Yeah.
But I do have other ways. Like, I'll put him in front of me like this.
Yeah.
Or I'll kind of cover my face a little bit. But in 12 years of teaching with puppets, no one has ever said, "Hey, your lips are moving."
They're not even looking at you. Probably their eyes are glued to Sam.
Exactly. As soon as he's there with the eye contact, that's another important thing. Eye contact. They're focused on the puppet, so I can do whatever I like. It's really good.
Yeah.
That's right.
There's some forms of puppetry, for example, and maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong, but bunraku in Japan, where a team of controllers will work the puppet, and they're all wearing black costumes, but they're clearly visible, right? They're clearly visible. There's like 3 controllers for every puppet, but you don't care. You're watching the puppet, and you accept them as a character, and you're following them in the story.
It's amazing. I've seen that before, and you can feel that shift in your perception.
Yeah.
Like, there are people there, but then there's that moment where you forget they're there. It's really good.
It's amazing.
You want to see another puppet? I have some more.
Please.
Yeah, sure. I'm currently working on a business, very small business, but we're going to start manufacturing a new puppet. Not this one, another boy, but this is a puppet I had made for me in the Philippines. I have a very good friend in the Philippines who makes puppets, and that's his job. And this guy's a little monkey.
Hello there. Beautiful.
He's very badly behaved. He's naughty.
A little bit
So his
unruly.
character is- yeah, he will come into the class and mess everything up, and the kids love that.
So a little
to certain-
chaos.
yeah, chaos. So he will like ring the bell with his mouth or like interrupt me. So he's a naughty character, but that can work really well as well because
Yep.
the kids are often bored. So when I see them getting bored, he will come in and start saying, "What are you talking about? Hey, talk to me." Okay, let's talk to Monkey. His name is Monkey. Very original, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Monkey wants to talk. Okay. Let's stop the class. Who wants to talk to Monkey? And then he'll ask them 5 random questions, very random. And that tests them to think on their feet.
Yep.
Because in Chinese schools, it's all by rote, parroting. So they learn, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. Why are you fine? What does fine mean?
So he throws a little reality and chaos
Yeah.
into it.
That's right. He'll come in and say, no, that doesn't sound cool. Nobody says, I'm fine, thank you. Are you talking to your grandmother? So then he'll say, hey, try this. I'm okay.
So he kind of puts them on the spot, which helps them
Exactly.
learn to
And he'll
communicate
challenge
better.
me and say, why are you teaching them, I'm fine, thank you? They're not talking to their grandmother.
Mhm.
So he brings in a little bit of reality, that's right, and
That's
a little
great.
bit of like interest.
Yeah.
But then we'll say, okay, bye-bye, Monkey. You have to go now. No. Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes. Bye-bye, Monkey. Ah! And then I'll push him off, and the kids love that.
Well, James, if you want to put any links to your Facebook groups or links to your company on the website or whatever, just put them in the comment box.
Okay.
We do have some teachers watching us tonight that may be interested in your project.
Yeah, sure, guys. Especially if you're online teaching or classroom teaching, any teaching. And don't worry, most people tune out because they can't do ventriloquism, but you really don't need that.
You really don't need it, yeah.
And the next puppet we're making will have legs and feet, so you can take him into the classroom and have him there as a character with you. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Paul. That was fun.
Lovely, James. It's a pleasure to have you on the show, and we're going to say goodbye and bring Nic back on for another song.
Yeah, I want to see Nic again. Okay, thanks,
Yeah.
guys.
So take
Bye-bye.
care, and thank Sam for us for joining.
I will. Yeah, I think Sammy's right here on his stand.
Hopefully, we can have him or one of the other guys on your team join us another time.
Yeah, sure. I love that. Okay. Bye-bye,
Okay,
guys.
Merry Christmas, James. Merry Christmas,
yeah.
Sam.
Happy holidays.
Indeed. Take care.
Okay.
So let's bring Nic Darwin back on. And we're going to wrap up the show with you, Nic.
Hey, Paul.
So I think we're getting a feedback loop. But I'll keep it short. I'm going to say goodbye now, and we'll close with Nic. So I just want to mention that next week there will be no show, guys. Let's go to the graphic. For the next show will be New Year's Eve, the green one. Yep. So join me again, guys, Thursday, December 31st at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, PST. That's the West Coast of Canada time. So you'll have to calculate what time that is in your country. But that's New Year's Eve here. So join me for this show. And next week we're off because it's the holiday. After New Year's Eve, we'll go back to our weekly show. Once again, if you need private lessons, I'm available for private lessons. So go to my website and we can meet one-to-one for private English help. Also, don't forget to check out English Weirdness. I think I recommended a couple of our videos tonight. English Weirdness is on my YouTube channel. You can also find the videos at englishweirdness.com. All right? So let's bring Nic on. And I'm going to say goodbye. Let's get rid of the graphic. Pull it away. Like this. Before I give the audience to Nic, I want to say thank you all for joining us tonight. Everyone should have a safe holiday, so stay safe. Be with your family. Enjoy the time together at home. Next year, we'll go back to work. We'll go back to our socializing. So enjoy this time. But be safe. So Nic, you're going to sing a new song?
Yeah. First of all, I just want to say I really loved the work that James is doing. Amazing. Love the monkey. I think all English learners need one of those, you know.
I agree.
And thank you, Paul, for inviting me once again. And this is a song called Christmas Gift. I wrote it these days. It's a pretty recent thing, so please forgive me if I mess up some of the lyrics.
Okay. No problem. Nic. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
But ladies and gentlemen, I'll say goodbye and give the stage to Nic. And Nic, they can find you on Spotify.
Yeah, I just typed in the link in the comments.
Perfect. Okay. Goodbye, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, Nic Darwi.
Let's for one day and one night sing that everything's alright. Some snowflakes on the windows will be fine. Tonight we're holding next to our hearts and fill this tree with our Christmas cards. But snowman and snow woman are apart. The treetop that we used to know, golden stars so Santa Claus would know just where to put our gifts will not be there. And he may stay away, but this I see, you're still here and you're my shining three, and that's the greatest Christmas gift to me. For one day and one night, sing like everything's alright. Some snowflakes on our windows will be fine. Tonight we're holding next to our hearts and fill this tree with our Christmas cards. But snowman and snow woman are apart. The treetop that we used to know, golden stars so Santa Claus would know just where to put our gifts will not be there. He may stay away, but this I see, you're still here and you're my shining tree, and that's the greatest Christmas gift to me. And that's the greatest Christmas gift to me. You're my Christmas gift. You're my Christmas gift. You're my Christmas gift. He may stay away, but this I see, you're still here and you're my shining tree, and that's the greatest Christmas gift to me. Thank you, everyone. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Be safe. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Nic. Thank you very much. It's been my great Christmas gift to have you on the show. Christmas gift. Sorry. It's a Christmas gift. So thank you, Nic. Have a Merry Christmas. Stay safe and stay cool. Everyone else, thank you very much for joining us. Merry Christmas. Wherever you are, enjoy the holiday. Stay safe and stay cool.